All right, what's going on, Cowboy fans? Big Slam back with another video, and this is going to be a depressing video for me to make. Probably depressing for you guys to watch. I'm sure you're all aware at this point that Tony Romo made a statement about being the backup quarterback to Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys for this season, and that Dak has earned the starting job and the right to quarterback this team, and that there's something special about this team. And he described being in the darkest days of his life, because leading into training camp and preseason, he said he's never felt any better, healthier, stronger, and he knew this would be his best team that he's ever had being a professional with the Dallas Cowboys. So he said when he got hurt, it was a soul-crushing moment for him when he got hurt. And I could imagine his pain, man. That's got to be so tough. I feel for the guy. There's nobody in this league that I would rather see win a Super Bowl than Tony Romo. One of the nicest, classiest guys in the NFL, maybe even on the planet. I mean, just class all the way up and down by Tony Romo. And, we'll see what happens going forward. He is the backup quarterback. Hopefully Dak doesn't get hurt. Hopefully the wheels don't fall off. As much as I would love to see number 9 run back out on that field, I don't want any of those things to happen. But I do want to talk to you guys about a couple of my favorite Tony Romo moments, and I do have a few just off the top of my head. One's not the greatest one, but it epitomizes Tony Romo. The first one I remember is back in 2007 playing the Rams, and Andre Gerard snaps the ball over Tony Romo's head about 10 yards. Romo turns, start chasing, actually kicks the ball further to our own end zone, finally corrals it, makes a guy miss, jukes another guy, pump fakes another guy, and runs about 35, 40 yards to gain like 3 yards and a first down. And I always just kind of tied that in with his career because literally everything was going against him. And on that play, literally everything was going against him. The ball's over his head. He's kicking it down the field. And instead of just falling on it, there's no quit in this guy ever. And he picks the ball up and runs for a first down. In the books, it's like a 2 or 3 yard gain, but he ran like 35 yards on that play. That was one of the funniest plays we've ever seen watching a football game. I mean, there's other moments. One of my other favorite moments was 2014 against the Texans. J.J. Watt comes in and almost destroys Romo, but this guy's got the presence, the pocket presence, that he feels J.J. Watt coming, spins out of it, and then throws it down the field to, I believe it was Des Bryant. Or maybe that was the Terrence Williams touchdown that he threw, is what I'm thinking of. That was another play that I always think of, that patent spin move that he does, man, and gets himself out of trouble a lot. The other moment, one of my favorite Tony Romo moments, against the Washington Redskins, and I believe it was 2013, actually. Second to last game of the season, he gets hurt. He hurts his back. And, I mean, you could see the pain in his face. And that guy stayed on the field and won the game for us to put us in a win-and-in situation for the playoffs. Another one of my favorite Tony Romo moments was San Francisco. I don't remember the year, but he gets popped bad, man. And he was playing for a little while longer, and they finally take him out of the game. Didn't find out till, I believe, the next day that he punctured a lung. Now, they knew he broke a rib because they took him back for x-rays, but Tony wanted to get back in the game. And what does Tony Romo do when he gets back in the game? Takes us into overtime and then throws a ball up to Jesse Holley. And Jesse Holley almost gets in the end zone, man, but we kick a field goal and win the game in overtime against San Francisco. I mean, the toughness of Tony Romo is just undeniable. The fiery, competitive nature that guy had is unbelievable. And there's not much more to say about him than those few plays that I remember him as. Another one is a bad play because the refs took it away from us, and that's the Green Bay playoff game. 4th and 1, we got a run called, and you know what Romo does? He says, I got one-on-one with Dez. I could get this ball out there to him and we could score a touchdown here or get it real close to the goal line and bury the Packers and win this football game. And what does he do? He throws it up. Beautiful pass. It could have been a little further out there. He could have let him a little bit more, but I still think Dez caught that ball. And that just shows you what Tony Romo's all about. He's always going to go for it, man. And I can't say enough about the guy. Great football player, great leader, great captain, great teammate, and a classy guy, man. And I know what I said about Dak before about Romo's never getting in unless the wheels come off or Dak gets hurt. But I'm going to lay out a scenario for you. Not that I want Dak to get hurt, but can you see a storybook ending for Tony Romo? Can you see it? I'll lay it out for you. Not that I want this to happen, but something good has to happen to this guy. And a lot of good has happened to him, but I really want him to win the Super Bowl, and I want him to be the reason that we do. I won't be mad if Dak does it. I won't be. I'll tell you that right now. But what if Romo has to come in the NFC Championship game, if we're lucky enough to get there, and he has to win the game for us, and he does, and then he's standing there a couple weeks later holding up the Lombardi trophy after winning the Super Bowl. Can you see that at all? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, guys, that's all I got to talk about with Tony Romo. I don't have much else to say other than, I'm grateful for what he's done for the Dallas Cowboys and the franchise. I mean, this guy literally put the team on his back for years without a football team and willed them to the playoffs a lot of the times when they got there. And they just didn't. They weren't strong enough to finish the deal. They didn't have very good teams. They really, really didn't. They never had a good defense with Romo. He had a decent offensive line for a couple years. But for the most part, that guy's running around like a chicken with his head cut off back there because he had to. And he carried that team a lot of the times. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one.